YouTube, yeah. We traveled across the state here, really not that far across the state. But we are still in same form. We definitely have some drinks on display, and you can see to the right of your screen, somebody got into stuff a little early, and others are waiting to crack their beers. From left to right, we've got the Juice Bomb. That is a Lone Pine brew from Maine. Fantastic brewery up there, does really good. Beard is a local brewery that is in the southern part of Connecticut. Riff, that's a double IPA coming in at like an 8.8% ABV. And then we have Hazy, which is also a local. What's going on, Melina? Is Hazy is a local brewery, Black Hog Brewery, and I did not look at the ABV on that one.
6.2.
And it is I've been corrected already tonight, so that is a 6.2. And I assure you that will not be the last time I'll be corrected this evening because I've been twisting words all afternoon. So here we are. What's up, Joe? Welcome. Thanks for dialing in, everybody. Titan, I saw you on there. Mike M, thanks so much. Yeah, good evening, YouTube, for sure. Thanks for dialing in. We've got our lineup of beers to drink. And this evening, I think we're going to take a look at a few snakes to see what's on the agenda here at Monroe Morphs. If you guys don't follow them, they don't do a whole lot on YouTube, but you can follow them on Instagram at monroe.morphs. And be sure to check them out with a lot of crazy stuff happening as I've gone through a few animals over here, and there is some ridiculousness in the bins, and that's the first one you can correct me on, please do. I'm again twisting words. So yeah, definitely do that. And so a surprise, little surprise coming a little bit into the video. Was gonna reveal it now, but I think I'll make you guys wait and cause a little suspense. But we're gonna pour some drinks and get the party started like we normally do. Yeah, this one is over here. Oh, it's so pretty. The beer. Pretty beer. Pretty beer. Cheers.
Try again?
Yeah, I was like...
Don't cross the streams.
Cheers, y'all. Yeah. Don't cross. And tonight I decided to run the 18mm wide angle lens for a moment. And so a bit of a contrast, if you guys last video where we had the fisheye, which you had a lot of that warped look on the sides. This is just a straight, clean, wide angle lens that you guys get a good reach and really be able to see some stuff. So we're going to take a look at some animals and then probably get into the next part, which we'll reveal shortly, where we're all really excited about.
It's gonna get hot quick.
Hot quick. Look at that. That's the 1%er shirt. That's hot. The detail. Inception. Yeah, ectothermic dungeon. So very few people, I think on I can count on one hand, probably like 4, maybe 5 people have that shirt. I don't even have that shirt yet. We had it redone because the original one I had printed did not come out well. And we fixed it, resent it to the printer, and now they look like that, which is just insane. And then from there, yeah, we come over and we see that shirt, which looks way better on her than it does on Dan and Ectothermic Dungeon. I love the repping. Thank you very much. Woohoo! Yeah, you've been hatching stuff, man. So how about we take a look at some of the babies you've been crack-a-lacking at and see what's on the agenda for maybe the rest of the season and then to get into a couple other things.
Sounds good. Well, the season just started. Eggs in the incubator will fill this and then some. So next couple weeks are going to be a little busy. But right now, this is what I have. One clutch just came out of the egg, so we'll look at those too. But we'll start top, go to bottom. First clutch is Jim's favorite. It's cinnamon, if you follow some of the videos.
Yeah.
So we'll start with those. And these have to be cleaned as of tomorrow, so excuse the mess. This is a snake life. This one's in shed. So this clutch was a pewter to what's going to be referred to as a dinker project for this video. But there is a wild line of yellow-belly in it. Something I've been working with a couple of years now and still playing with. Unfortunately, this one's in shed, but this would be the base form of the dinker project as far as I can tell. Yellow-belly, belly, I guess you could say pied tracks or whatever the case, a little ringer. And as of right now, it has not been officially thrown to pied yet, so I don't even know if these are heifer pied.
Is that something you're planning to do
Oh, yeah.
soon, or?
Based on what I've seen and based on what I've seen in this clutch, they will be going to pied. This one, so these ones are just shedding out or shed out, so that's just your typical cinnamon. I had Jim come over and verify that because he's the one to go to when it comes to cinnamon. So yeah, just a typical cinnamon as far as I can tell. Very nice contrast. A little bit of scale still on the head, but
Yeah, it's a good looking animal. Anytime you get that like popcorning down in the bottom, like you saw the white little stuff going down on the bottom. I don't know. I like, for me, that's like quality indicator. We have a couple animals that we've produced that don't necessarily do that. And
so these ones are going to be cinnamon, and based on the pairing, I would say yellow belly as well, or in that complex. Both of them have ringers.
yeah. So the popcorn that you saw on the last one, which was really pronounced, is kind of reduced on here. And you see it's really small and finite. So for me, that's really kind of more of an indicator of yellow belly, and that's like a ringer trying to start right there. So that's a huge ringer actually. So that animal will probably end up proving heifer pied.
So this one's out of shed. This one's in shed currently.
Yep, I was gonna say that this one is really smoky, starting to go in shed here.
And we'll take Dad out in a minute just to show what the base is, but
Here's another ringer right down here. So a real good indicator, or strong indicator, that these guys will prove for pied. And it does come all the way around on both sides, if I can, there you go. Yep, good looking animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we don't have to do all of them,
no,
but
run.
you go some of your, like, you know,
Better ones.
more standout stuff, and then get into the
I mean, I could go
latter
for
half.
the 2.5 hour to beat the record.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy. That was ridiculous.
So this one's in shed as well. Again, the pairing was pewter to this wild line, as I would call it, and it's a yellow belly mix. And this one's in shed. Very reduced pattern, but seems like there's something there. And while that one's out, this one that's out of shed.
Marshall says he's going to steal the term popcorning. That's actually not really my term. I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, Justin may have used that. So yeah, be free to steal that. I stole that from somebody else. So it's not even mine. But like, this animal is just,
It's not even bonkers. I mean,
like, well, this is kind of for a pewter. This is kind of bonkers for a pewter. So the pairing on this is a pastel cinnamon to this wild line of yellow belly, and
possibly granite something.
I've made pewters, many pewters over the past couple years, and I've not ever made anything that pattern-wise looks like this. Color-wise, yes. Pattern, definitely not. So this wild line, if you will, has really impacted, a typical pewter a little bit differently here. I like it. I think it's kind of cool.
What's the best part with these two?
The best part?
They're both girls.
Females. There you go.
Holdbacks.
Yeah, that's the painful part because you
Yes.
hold back everything.
Oh. Okay. So then we'll move past.
I mean, I think you got some pied stuff going on in there,
I
right?
got pied and clown.
Mm.
So let's do clown first.
Yeah.
And the more interesting ones. So this one's a het, but this one is a spider Enchi blade, 100% het clown, female. When the head popped out of this one, I was questioning. I'm like, oh, is it clown? Is it just spider? And it came out, but still an amazing animal.
That's
Very
crazy.
nice pattern. Look at Mom, which is a spider blade, and this is just one up. Awesome head stamp. So that one was the het, and then there were the visuals.
And while he's pulling that, if you notice a similarity in these racks here,
Yes.
yes, mine are more full, but they're the exact same racks. So they were built by Baller's Garage. So a bit of a shout out there for Dave. And I don't know about you, Dan built a bit of a
Platform, if you will.
yeah, with casters so he can move it around or whatever. I just put mine right on the ground, so his seem a little bit taller when he's reaching up to grab them. What's going on, Bronx Balls? Welcome. But these work very well. I'm very pleased, at least with mine. There's a little more maybe play here that we could not deal with either with a divider here or a little narrower. But for the most part, I'm still good. They slide in really well. What I'm more concerned with is humidity and temp and that kind of stuff, and it maintains temp and humidity very, very, very well.
Something else we spoke about that may come into play for both of us this season.
Yeah, which is coming. So these are, the big ones are V18s from Vision, and these here, the three across you see are V15s. So same length, a little narrower. So correction number 2, and we're 5 minutes in.
We're counting.
Oh goodness, somebody's always counting. But anyway, so you'll see these here. We can exchange them out, so you fit a third more if you did that on every level instead of being 18 tall. Well, there'll still be 18 tall, but instead of having 18 times 2, you'd have 18 times 3. Essentially fitting a third more bins in there, which we may do that with 1 or 2 of the racks that we have, depending on how things go. But so that's something we're looking at too. But so far, so good. I like mine.
What I'm seeing on the camera at the moment is, the dust quality. Yeah, these haven't been
Touched.
snake filled for a year now, so I'm moving to the side and they're getting updated as they go. So I do apologize because the camera definitely. Oh, I got a correction now.
Oh, hey.
Picks up the quality of this.
Yeah. What's going on, Melina?
Okay.
Oh, what
Back
do
to
we?
snakes.
Woo, what do we got here?
So, this is our visual clown, and based on the pairing, blade. That's going to be my guess. Either way, it is a female and it is not going to go anywhere.
What was the pairing?
Pairing was a spider blade het clown to a Enchi clown pinstripe.
Okay. So there are other options in there, but if you look at this looks pretty classic for a clown. I have a blade in my collection that is a bit more reduced than this here.
So
what's going on, Matt? Welcome.
That would be a blade clown. Very
So-
comparable.
Comparable, very clean in here. Not a lot of teardrops and little drip marks. Where here you see some of these spots over here, and the blade tends to reduce a lot of that. Is this a male or a female?
So this is a female,
Yeah.
and then this from a separate clutch and separate project. This is a Blade Clown Het Azantic.
Wow, that's a solid
And that's
animal,
male.
bro. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So, nice little girl here.
So even if it's just a clown, it's a girl and won't complain.
Yep, for sure.
But the star of that clutch, however,
It's the logo. What's up, Petco? Welcome. Mason, what's going on, man? How are you?
so this right here, that is at least a clown Enchi pin, possible blade.
And I'll throw in my opinion. I think this is Blade, because you have a clown Enchi pin, don't you?
I have two. I have a pair.
You have two, and they look so. Oh well, maybe not.
So this is the tough part because what does Blade do to that combo? So that is the male. That's the one that sired this clutch. And then that is a female.
Yeah.
And it's very tough because I cannot find anything online that would have Blade in the same combo. There is somebody else working on this, and they're going to let me know when theirs hatch. If anyone has experienced this, please let me know.
But I would say comparing the three animals, I'm safe to say that it's probably at least a duplicate of Dad.
I would agree.
I don't necessarily think that there's Blade in here, based like because I can't really see much of a difference. We look at this animal. I mean, there's color difference, but like
That will change.
you know that'll change with age. But like that pattern is really similar to the pattern here. So I would say you at least have a duplicate of Dad.
And nothing wrong with that.
And again, love that logo.
I'll put that one back. And again, this one is a girl.
Solid female to have, that's for sure.
Okay, hide.
Yeah, baby.
So there are several recessives I'm working with this year. Hide and clown, obviously, everyone has. Can't go wrong.
Not
with this.
everyone, but
Everyone's working with. We're starting with the het. So this is a Firefly Yellow-Bellied het for pied, female. Pairing was a Firefly pied to a Yellow-Bellied het pied.
yeah, those flames are just nuts. So if you roll that over on the belly again, when you talk about yellow belly into different complexes, this checkering all along here, that's all classic yellow belly. And then you get these flames that turn color. So you can have flames in an animal and the color may not necessarily be different. So like you see this, I wouldn't want to call it red, but like this orangish yellow kind of color coming through. That's, pretty classic influence for yellow belly. A lot of extra blushing, adds a little bit of wackiness into the pattern. Great looking animal for sure, and 100% Heifer pied. Don't get better than that.
And it's a female.
Yeah, thanks, Bronx. Yeah, and on top of it being a girl, that's an animal you put on the shelf and you just grow them out.
So that, best we can say, is a normal pied, if you'd agree.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Reduced pattern, so that's beneficial there.
And again, so when you start breeding pieds, there's always opinions about, oh, I like high white or I like low white, that kind of stuff. But as you start to stack genes, you're going to want to see more pattern. So these low white, high pattern pieds are great animals to start a project with because that it's a phenotypic response. So if you start with a girl that has a lot of pattern, more than likely on a given basis, she's going to give you animals with more pattern. And then as you add genes into it that may produce less pattern, it's kind of fight with the phenotypic a little bit and maybe express a little bit more pattern. So a spider pied where it typically only gives the head stamp, with a girl like this, you might breed those two together and then get, a little bit more in the tail or maybe just one saddle. And then over years of that phenotypic expression, you're going to breed a lot more stuff back into those animals and get a lot more out of them.
So, as a good example too, from the same mom last year, one of the babies that was produced was this one, which is a yellow-bellied pied. And same thing, very reduced pattern. Very reduced white. High expression pattern, you get to appreciate what the genes do together.
Yeah, and lots of stripes too, like almost like a tri-stripe effect. But if you count the black, the back stripe, and the black on the other side, it's almost like a tri-stripe thing that's going around.
That 3 or 4.
I stopped counting. But the animal itself looks really good. Lots of pattern. And again, this is going to be a great platform to add other stuff into, where you're actually going to be able to see more pattern and determine, when you start putting 5 or 6 genes into that all have with pied, you're going to have a better chance of determining what you get as far as an animal goes.
And again, like Justin says too, is yellow belly is that gene that you just need to have in pied to keep the yellows and the colors.
You have it in everything.
It's all right. We'll do the next one. So what was this? This was. This was 8 eggs, and there was 4 or 5 pieds in it. I'll know when I go through the clutch, and then they could correct me. So on this one, we're gonna say pastel pied.
Yep.
Possible yellow belly, but I'm pretty confident it's a pastel pied.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with any pieds in general. And then we move to this one. And again, the pairing was a Firefly pied to a yellow-belly het pied.
And what are you calling this animal here?
I am going to say that one is a pastel yellow-belly pied.
I agree.
It's not... There's too much pattern in it for it to be fire, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, because this one is staying.
And if you look at, it's definitely yellow belly. If you look at all this pixelation, all this jaggedness along multiple saddles, not just one little spot, but everywhere there's a saddle, it's all broken apart. It's all pixelated. And Dan just got bit and I missed it.
He did.
So this is definitely yellow belly. All this gray-ish that's coming through here, this is all pastel that does that. So I completely agree. This is a pastel yellow belly pied for sure. And pastel pied. And then what's this creature that keeps biting you?
This is the,
There's the blood.
the biter. So this one I'm going to say is pastel yellow belly. I'm questioning if the fire's in there. I don't know. I would say it's got less pattern. It doesn't have as much of that like busyness.
Yep.
Like the
But
Pastel does, but
the color profiles
still
are pretty
comparable.
the same on those two.
so I don't think I hit a fire yellow-bellied pied in any of them.
Definitely a little darker over here. I agree. I don't see fire in either one of these.
And this one's a boy, and this one most likely will be going up for sale. I was really hoping to get a fire yellow-belly anything, but that's okay. Pieds are pieds.
The way it goes. Feisty for sure, Melina. Feisty for sure. Maybe they just don't like Dan.
That's fair.
We have a couple snakes that are like that.
Should we take out the het puzzles?
Until recently, only I could feed because if Matt would try to feed the snakes, the rats would have his scent on them and she wouldn't eat. So she started to. I totally missed that, Mason. I'm gonna go back and look at the comments here in a minute when I get a second and see what you said.
Mason said, I need to send a picture of a hatchling to you, Jim. I need help identifying the genes. How can I contact you?
Ah.
I'm all over the place. So either through my website, I've got my text,
Thanks, Desmond.
my phone number there, Instagram, Facebook. All through Ectothermic Dungeon, however you want, except for my phone number, obviously, which you can pull off the website or off of Morph Market. And shoot me those images and let me know what you got going on.
So again, like I said, there's a lot of recessive going on this year, all different directions. This one is actually a very important girl that we have. She hatched on her own, if I'm correct, at day 48, and she was the only egg out of 10 or 12 eggs. It was a lavender het Xanthic female that got egg bound, and that's the first time I've experienced it, but that is part of this hobby. It's going to happen the more snakes you have. And this was the only egg that survived, only viable egg. Hatched out perfectly fine, and it's a female. It's lavender. Let's see, lavender 66% het Xanthic, because it was paired to a lavender het Xanthic, and the female was lavender het Xanthic. Really working a lot of the lavender and Xanthic stuff this year, and even to get one egg out of the clutch was great.
And a girl.
And a girl. So again, like I commented on Jim's video the other day about, he showed the clutch that didn't make it. These things do happen. This hobby is not perfect, and there are things that we deal with on a regular. Just the larger your collection, the more you experience things. That was the first time I experienced a snake that got egg bound. For what reason, I don't know. Snake is perfectly fine. If I take her out of the bin right now, she'll probably try to eat me. And the baby is fine too. So,
Yeah.
these are things you work with.
Yeah, that's like a perfect scenario. If you have to deal with a female being egg bound, and both you get a baby and a healthy mom at the end of the day, that's a good thing.
So that's the one for that clutch. And then the last clutch will go, or the last two clutches, because the other one's all together. The last clutch we'll go through, this one's a little unique, and I'll explain in a minute, because Jim made a comment in his last video of something he doesn't do. And he's right, you shouldn't do it, but I messed up this year, and it worked out to kind of my benefit. So I'll explain that in a minute. So we're going to start with...
Yeah, these things are all ridiculous. I've seen like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of these animals from this clutch, and they're all absolutely insane. So you can go right back to it.
So I haven't officially ID'd these yet. So anyone that has their opinions or whatever, awesome. These just shut out, so this is the time to ID them too. The pairing I'm going to say on most of these, they'll come back later, is a Superfly to a pastel orange dream yellow belly.
So if somebody's not familiar what a super fly might be, what is that?
That is a super pastel fire.
Okay.
So this is the first one. Based on the rest of the collection, I'm going to say this one has OD in it for how bright it is and orange. We should be drinking OJ right now.
Yeah, right.
Yes, we should.
From Lone Pine.
There you go. So, all right, we'll say likely orange dream. Based on the head, super pastel.
Yep.
Don't know about yellow belly.
I don't see it.
And then as for the fire, I would say at the minimum, OD super pastel.
At a minimum. But if anybody is familiar at all with working with Orange Dream, it tends to do some wacky things with pattern, not just color. So it is highly possible that you're getting the color from the OD here, but the yellow belly piece that you would expect to see down along the belly could be wiped out from the Orange Dream, because typically Orange Dream likes to kind of do this melting thing along the bottom, and we're kind of missing that here. So is that because of the super pastel that we don't see the yellow belly, or is it because of the Orange Dream? And again, unless you've made hundreds of these, you may not ever know until you breed them. These two are smoke shows.
So then we got these two. Same clutch. So again, in this pairing, same genes. You got OD, yellow belly, pastel on one side, super pastel and fire on the other side. Supers, as far as you can look based on the head and the color. So let's say super pastel. I'm confident that there's fire in them, although I'm really looking at them for the first time right now. And yellow belly.
The belly doesn't scream it,
It's tough.
but the pattern kind of does. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say unless you've looked at hundreds and hundreds of yellow bellies. It's really hard to explain. Like, you would expect if you roll that over, you would expect to see all this checkering and all this stuff here, but when you bring it back and you look at the pattern, this crazy wacky pattern just kind of screams super pastel yellow belly with maybe something else. So I don't know if that something else may be fire.
I don't know about the OD. I would be more on the fire side.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would think there'd be a little bit more orange color if it was Orange Dream.
Check out the next two.
It just keeps getting brighter.
She wants to join us.
So same thing.
That is a faint touch of yellow belly right there. If you roll it, yep. There's a faint touch of yellow belly going on down here. You can see some of this little bit of checkering here. So that one very well may be like a super fly yellow belly. And then we look at this one here.
That doesn't want to stay still.
Similar pattern, but I don't get any hints of that checkering at all. So that just may be like a super fly. So pattern and blushing may be similar, but like, again, there's a little bit difference between this one and that one with blushing, with pattern being a little more crazy over here. And I think that's the yellow belly lending that. So I'd be pretty confident calling that a super fly yellow belly. And again, a lot of times when you're looking at clutches like this and you're trying to identify animals, it's nice to have a lot of variety in similarities where you can look at these and start to see minor differences, and then based on experience that you have, if you have some, to determine what's what. Where that is definitely super pastel, maybe fire, and then you look at this head that is pastel fire or just pastel. And then again, a little bit of checkering under there, starting to kind of bleed through. So that as well may be
I'd say
yellow belly, but when you look at the top, the pattern lends to it, but the blushing is a little more sparse than
when
the
you
last
look at
one.
the heads, super pastel. This one, initially I would say pastel, and even by the color, you got kind of that washed color versus that yellow. I'm looking at this one, and I would say this is a Firefly.
Mark,
Firefly.
what's going on, Mark?
Yellow-Bellied?
Welcome. Yeah, we're looking at a few of the hatchlings that were produced this year. And we got a surprise, well, a couple of surprises that's coming shortly that we're going to inform you guys in on, and you're going to be super amped. If you've stuck around, you're going to be really happy that you did, for sure.
So if this is a Firefly Yellow-Bellied, in this case het pied, either Firefly Yellow-Bellied on this side as well.
I love the way that tail melts. Like, that's crazy. And yeah, this is all the yellow belly lending all that like busyness, that checkering, that craziness going on there. That's all yellow belly doing that.
I'm going to say this one is the same. I don't think it's OD.
Yep, and you can see it all right there. Yeah, that's all yellow belly, right up by the finger. Classic. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great animals, dude.
So going backwards a little bit, like I said, when it came, another correction.
I don't know, but that's some serious fucking hair, bro. Serious. Like, there's
I'm bringing the 80s back.
there's some yeah, you doing it well too.
No, he's not.
Everyone comment below your favorite 80s song.
Ah, your favorite
good
80s
one.
song. There you go.
Alright.
So, this snake is part of that clutch,
What?
but this snake is a different dad.
Ah, there you go.
And unless...
So, Ivory?
Nope. Because there was no yellow belly on one side. It was super pastel fire on one side.
So, Superfire.
Super fire, pastel. So this one is...
You gotta read the comments. When's the hair something?
When's
the hair getting cut?
dyed in purple?
Super pastel fire, 50% het pied, 50% het Xanthic. And this is a boy. So this one will be available. As Jim mentioned in one of his other videos, when it comes to recessives and stuff, not throwing multiple males in and everything, yes, that is a huge thing because you don't know unless you know you have a super or something in the mix. That's the best I could say. This was a female that I honestly didn't think was going to go this year. Ended up having 2 locks. One of the locks was the pastel orange dream yellow belly, and the other lock was the fire double het. It was kind of one of those things that the tag fell off her thing. I threw a male.
Oh.
It happens. This happened to work out because I am pretty confident there is 0 fireflies and pastels and normals, because there's no normals, in the mix. So everything except this one was Dad 1 and this was Dad 2.
Sweet. So we're about 40 minutes in.
I got one more.
You want one more animal, and then you want to kind of like divulge what the real plan is for tonight?
Sure.
Okay.
I got plenty of animals.
I know you do. We could be here all night long. I mean,
We didn't even talk about these.
I know. But they're in shed. Like,
They are
I
in
would
shed.
love
A
to
lot-
see them. We gotta come. We'll come back and do another one,
A
and
lot
when they're
of
not in
things are
shed. Yeah.
So
Well,
this,
yeah, you can go look that up, and then we'll come back another time and we'll take a look at those when they're not in shed.
they're not in shed. All right, so these are going into shed. So this clutch was albino enchi to an Xanthic het albino.
Donna, she feels like she's watching a Chinese movie because
Sync is off.
the thing is, well, that's the struggle with YouTube. Unfortunately, there's usually a 2 to 3 second delay on YouTube sometimes, and you can get good internet and you can try your hardest, and you might get it down to like a second or two. But there's always going to be that Chinese factor to that.
So we're gonna go through these super quick.
80s Madonna.
I love it.
Yeah.
So again, your opinion, because this is the first time you're seeing them.
Yeah, I haven't seen these
I
yet.
think I went
I-
three for three.
I was able to pregame earlier, and I looked at most of the other stuff and was pretty hands-on. So
So I'm gonna say these three are albinos. These three are enchi albinos. Nothing sexed yet. We got 2 enchis, 1 normal. All of them are het for Xanthic. This will be double het Xanthic albino.
I'd agree with that. These are definitely all Enchi for
And
sure.
again, this was a het to visual pairing, so great odds.
Wow, 6 animals with a. Yeah, that's good. That's more than half. Visual to het, you would expect half. And you've got how many animals here?
Out of 9,
4?
I got
9?
6 of them.
Yeah, that's better than average.
So
So
there's
yeah,
Almost
that's-
looks like Krispy Kreme if you zoom in.
I am zoomed in. Yeah, they look really good, man. Yeah, it's a nice clutch.
So they will shed out, and I'll go through them.
And the double het factor makes them even better,
Oh yes.
especially these, the Enchi doubles.
So no.
Yeah,
the
for sure, Bronx. Absolutely
Original
is.
plan was snow on this, and the male just didn't go this year.
Thanks, Joe.
But I do have lavender snows in the mix, so I'll take that.
All right, so before we really get too much further, this is a kind of a time and point. We're about 42 minutes in, and this was really kind of a visit, a room tour. They just picked up these guys not too long ago, and again, you get to see the tag there. They're all in
You get to see the
shed.
tag as I get bit.
But again, we'll come back when these guys have shed out and let you really get a good look at this bridle eye. These animals are just insane. Really, really, really cool snake. And when you can see a lot more to the red. So they're usually a really nice brick red color. The video is not pulling it up right now. But there is a tinge of red on there. When they come out of shed, we'll definitely have to coordinate and come back.
That one's hiding.
And the other one is like completely MIA. But the big surprise, maybe you do it.
So we are going to cut some eggs.
Woo! Cutting eggs, that's what it's about. Yeah, baby.
oh yeah.
So we're going to cut 2 clutches.
Well, 2 clutches. I wasn't even going to divulge that until we got through the first one. But all right, 2 clutches.
Let
But
loose
wait,
early.
there's more.
For just $9.95, you can add twice the fun.
Free shipping. Just pay postage and handling.
That's hey.
Sorry, processing.
Think
and handling.
think
I have
about
to
that for a
remember.
minute. Yeah, think
Yeah.
about that. Free shipping, just pay postage and handling, which is
The same.
shipping.
Did you ever order Easy Moves or Swivel Store or any of that stuff? Or
Can't help you. I have no idea what you're talking about. Snuggies. How about my pillow?
you're not allowed over here.
Oh, my pillow. Buy one get one free. So you can see here anyway. Yeah, we're gonna cut eggs, but like homie's been busy. Lot of laid clutches. So the ARS here, these are the 50-40s. These are the 70-30s. So again, the 30 is the total amount of racks. or tubs rather, in a rack. He's sold off a couple levels, and these are essentially the same thing as these, just a little deeper and definitely wider. So you end up with a 70, and then 30 count is what you what you get on a full rack. He's sold off a couple levels. I believe ARS on, at least on the 5040s, will sell a level at $200 a pop. So you can get your 10 high, or you can add an extra or two to stack on a couple more if you need be. But these 30s are massive. We really only have one girl of all our animals that really needs something like that.
I think probably this might be my biggest. And she doesn't want to be touched.
No, she don't. And she's probably, sad to say, not as big as our black pastel girl.
I would agree.
Yeah, she's still big. That's a big animal.
Mason asked, "Where are you?"
Yeah, I saw that pop up. We are in Connecticut. I'm about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from Monroe Morphs here. So from time to time, I'll pop over and see what they have going on here, and do a little live stream or whatever.
I have to check his pockets when he leaves.
Yep, absolutely, because there's always some animals that would love to come home with me. It's never my fault. Like, I try to talk them out of it, but this will be, I think this is a first for us, though. I don't think we've ever done a live cutting here.
We did. We did the clown cutting.
That was a while ago.
Did we really?
A long time ago.
Yes, we did.
All right. Well, we've done one before. It's been a minute, and we're going to do a couple more. So, which one are you going to start with? What do you got? Talk to me, baby.
Which one?
Talk to me, Goose. Come on, Goose.
You go first, Goose.
Yeah, Mike. Was it last year? Really? Well, time flies.
So
Seems
we'll do this one.
seems a lot longer than that.
So we're gonna
What's that? Somebody found the golden scissors.
eBay. So we're gonna do a Camarillo to a double het caramel ultramel, 100% het ultramel, 66% het caramel.
That's a lot of German for somebody who has no clue.
So
So break it down, baby.
Camarillo is a caramel ultramel. It's a double recessive.
Yeah, that looks good.
I don't know if the purples are getting.
Oh, it's being picked up. Clearly.
Trying to get out of the.
Yeah, that's
Light.
even better. That's insane. Yeah, it looks real good.
And we're gonna see if she proves out.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We got 6 eggs.
Oh, look, you lose. You lose. You use straws as well.
Yeah, not just for sea turtles. Thanks, Dave Kelly.
What? What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
So Dave Kelly is Baller's Garage, but like, what?
So
You gotta explain.
Dave Kelly was helping with one of the posts on Instagram. Thankfully, I appreciate anyone helping. But he made a joke about sea turtles for the straws one time, and it made me laugh. So
That's funny. So Dave Kelly is Baller's Garage. That's the gentleman that built all these racks for Dan and myself. So just some inside jokes. He is also in Connecticut here. So you ready to do this?
I am. Let's see what we hit.
So before we cut, like, what can we see out of here in layman's terms? Like, what kind of animals would be your max?
We can see normals. We can see caramels.
Yeah, no. What are we looking for? Like, what's the max?
Looking for a Camarillo, honestly.
So again, in layman terms,
Ultramel.
caramel ultramels.
Yep.
Like the animal, that was the animal you just pulled out that we
Correct.
saw. All right, let's see if we can duplicate that.
Honestly, this was just a pairing that we're making double recessives.
Yeah,
Really.
let's do it.
While you're prepping to cut,
Yeah.
Desmond would like to see Sunny at some point. So
Yeah.
We'll pull out Sunny.
we will show Sunny.
For sure. You're a short cutter.
Well, I don't know if anyone can see it, but
Nope.
it's a normal.
Nothing.
Can't see anything.
Nothing.
Nope, still can't see anything. Your hole is too small.
You got some bubbles there.
It's my first time. Heyo.
Yeah, I can kind of see now. Yeah, that's a normal in there.
That's
yeah,
a normal.
That's a normal.
So we're off to a great start. I think that was number 2 egg.
Yeah,
Chip and Matt remember correctly.
I try to cut stem to stern so I can view, but everybody's a little different. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Like if you look at Garrick DeMeyer, he does it one way. If you look at Billy Rowe, mutation creation, he does it another way. You look at Barczyk, he does it yet differently. How we do it is yet different. How Dan does it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You just gotta, do what you feel comfortable with. Whether you're using razor blades, 3-foot scissors, or any of the like that you're easy to work with.
I think I'm going with lasers next year.
Mason, yeah, it doesn't look great, but again, when you start cutting eggs, whatever you feel comfortable with is what you gotta go with. And
So if anyone's keeping track, that's 3 for 3 with normals.
yeah, and Brian Barczyk has been cutting eggs for a long time using razor blades. So I would hand him my most valued clutch and say go at it with your razor blade. I personally won't use razor blades because I'm not comfortable with it. That's a normal, but that looks really good, dude. That's like super clean.
I'm making hashtag
Double heads?
king snake bait.
Oh.
Wow, that's strong words. So will these be 100% hets or are they 66s?
These will be 100% het ultramel and 100% het caramel.
Yeah. Wow.
And right now,
Give us something.
So
as for mom,
this is the game that you play if you
if
build
What do we got?
hold on, if you build your collection based on double hets, you don't always hit the money pot. So you can put those two animals together, you can build your double hets, and you might hit something. Maybe you hit a visual of one, a visual of the other, but
So
what is that? Is that Ultramel?
You tell us.
Or is that both?
no, it's not both.
So is that, well, I don't know enough of one or the other. So.
I've hatched caramels before. I haven't. This is my first for ultramels.
I think that's more caramel than Ultramel.
I agree. Which she was 66%, so she proved out. If that's
Oh,
the
that's
case.
beautiful then. That's glorious, actually. That's actually, if you were going to hit nothing, that's probably the best thing you could do if you were not going to get any other visuals, is that right there. Mm-hmm. So now she's 100%.
Correct.
So now going forward, there's just, well, I mean, you could prove out the other side. If they're purchased animals, you want to prove out the other sides, but at least that brings you up to like an even standard of, she's proven for at least that.
Part of me is gonna say that's ultramel.
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to see it.
I've not made either one, and I don't have either one in my collection, so I can't help you there.
Any caramel I've hatched before had another gene attached to it.
Oh,
So that's what's throwing me off a little bit.
Which one are you talking on, Vic? Melina, absolutely. So when you're dealing with recessives, you can have really just one of three type of animals. You can have a 50% het, a 66% het, or 100% het. And if we take the 100 away for a second, and we're talking about 50s, if you're breeding an animal that's 100% het on one side, but there's nothing of likeness on the other side, then when that animal gives its two genes, because one. So each hatchling will get one or the other of its genes. So it'll get the het or it won't, and you won't know which babies get it. So they're 50%. If you have 100 and 100, you're going to produce by odds 1 in 4 visuals. The other 3, so you take the visual out, the other 3 equals 66% of the clutch, technically 66.67% of the clutch. And those animals have that chance of having that gene in the background. So that's where you get the 66. If you have a visual animal going to any female or any male, that 100% visual male has 2 copies of that gene, because they had to pick it up from both parents previously to produce the visual. It's going to then give a copy to both. So it's 100% guaranteed that those animals, those babies, are going to carry the gene for that recessive project. It's kind of difficult to explain without drawing, but you have to think of it that, a parent is going to give, when, like, on their genetic, when you're talking genetic data, it kind of splits. Each animal gets one or the other. And to have a recessive visual, you have to have 2 copies of that gene. So when then it breeds, it then gets a copy to each. So yeah, a lot of nonsense.
Vic,
Yeah, I
he
saw
asked
that coming.
about this one that was last on the table.
Yep. What do you ask?
Just asked to see it again. Like I said, this is the first time for me hatching Ultramel. I have produced caramels, and I'm really think that one is Ultramel. But we'll see. Just the purples and everything in it. So this last egg, and then before we go to the next clutch, I'm going to show Sunny, because it's my nephew's favorite, and he's probably going to go to bed soon, and he's watching. 4 normals. What's this one going to be?
The whole deal.
Come on.
Comment below. What do you guess? Drum roll,
let's see
please.
Who gets it right. Actually, here, while people are commenting,
I'll pull Sunny out.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we can do that.
you take a second. Take a minute, as somebody says.
Boy needs sleep. Good call. The Holy Grail. It's the whole daily week.
Hi, Sunny.
Mike is saying it's the whole thing.
All right, so this one is coined Sunny.
Total package from Hetco.
There we go. So this is one of the males that I retired this year. He is now just going to stay in the racks as a pet. My nephew loves him. My wife loves him.
And what is
this? Is a Enchi Lesser Pastel Spider, which has made some awesome babies in the past for me.
update on litter? Question mark from Vic.
Update on litter. Elaborate.
Babies.
Well, on what litter?
Okay.
So yeah, just showing him off quick.
This is for you, Desmond.
Woohoo!
Alright.
Great looking animal. All right, so we have a couple votes here. The last egg on whether it's caramel or not.
That one's Ultramel.
Dan.
The more I look at it, it's Ultramel.
Dan's feeling Ultramel. I'm indifferent because I don't have either caramel or Ultramel in my collection. I've never had one, owned one, or produced one. I've only seen pictures, so for me this would be a first visual of either one of them, and I couldn't begin to help you at all. So it's all up to Dan.
If it's caramel, great, because she proved out. If it's Ultramel...
Thanks, Uncle Dan. Time for me to go to bed.
We love you,
Night,
Des.
Desmond. Alright, let's see. Is this the whole package?
We're cutting packages now.
Tri-stripe.
That'd be nice.
Is Vic said the litter that you just cut, where will you post the update?
Dan's gonna have to start his own YouTube video pretty soon. Wow, bro, you got hosed on this clutch. You know, this is kind of like my recessive projects. I never hit anything. Actually, you're ahead of me because you hit one. So you got a lot of double hats here.
A lot of double heads. Okay.
Ready?
That was a
Okay.
great clutch.
And again,
Listen, you got
sporting the
one
Systemas. These are the 9 liters, 7
These-
liters,
so-
7 liters. These are the 7 liters. You can see right there.
Us at Monroe Morphs decided to follow Jim
Bunch of
initially.
followers.
Initially on these, and now looking at it, we probably should have went with the next size down. I think it works better in the incubator. I think you get better airflow, and for the fitment eggs, you can fit a lot in that next size down.
Yeah, for sure. Like at least 10 to 12 if you stack them hard.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I wouldn't know because Jim still has my original bin.
you don't have any others? You bought one?
I'm sorry, I have one.
You
but-
bought one. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were that desperate. I would have brought it if that was the case.
So, but they still work great. Can't complain with them. So, that's that. All right.
That's a rough clutch. Sorry.
Yeah.
You win them, you lose them.
Okay. The wife is going to take charge of this one.
Oh, you're going to cut?
I'm gonna cut.
Woo! We got some luck going on right there. Right there. Boom! Yep. Oh,
I don't know that I want to cut that one.
that's some egg gold
So we're
right
gonna
there.
leave that one to the end because I don't think that one's viable.
No, it's not. You
Okay.
can tell. You can,
Oh, okay.
you can tell by feeling it. Shot. No, dude, I'm good. I got to drive home tonight, so I'm definitely not doing shots.
Shots of eggs.
Dan can do shot. Dan can shot that thing right there, right down the gullet if he wants to.
No, thank you.
No kisses for you tonight. If that happens, for sure.
All right, so why don't you tell us what this pairing is?
Yeah.
So that pairing is that quote-unquote wild line again. And this one was to a butter shredder pastel to give you a quick idea. This is the male. This is butter shredder pastel.
Oh, so we can do this plus that wild line of Yellow-Bellied.
And,
Basically.
Well, I can give you what last year's clutch looked like, and that's what I'm trying to hit this year again. I'm trying to replicate.
Yep.
So, with pastel,
Pastel or Yellow-Bellied?
in this case, with pastel,
Yeah.
because yellow belly is the wild aspect, but there's something else there. So that's with pastel.
Yeah. So again, this is what?
So that is butter, shredder, pastel.
Okay.
See if that other gene is there, if you call it.
Yep, the wild line of Yellow-Bellied or whatever.
And if you take the pastel out,
So same animal, less the pastel. Okay, so it basically looks the same, just not as bright.
and when these hatch, they are very dark, and they lighten up.
Nice.
So that's the male. Don't bite me.
Please. Bite him. Bite him now that I got him on video.
Yeah,
That was rough.
that was rough.
And this is the female
With no pastel.
with no pastel.
Still looks good, man. Like, I like it.
It's an awesome snake.
What's up,
And
Juan? Welcome.
What else you can put into it? I'm hoping OD.
Yeah, absolutely OD for sure.
Uh,
Fire
a-
would just light that on fire.
A similar project that somebody is working with, they've already put Enchi into it, and it looks really good. I'm hoping to see what else it can do.
Nice. Well, let's get in it then.
All right,
Mama gonna cut some eggs.
I'm gonna try.
Try?
Try Shrek.
We'll see how this goes. Listen, this is new, okay?
Right off the top. You just like top in the hat. That's it. Yep, you got it. Keep going, keep going. Don't stop short like Dan did. You know, get it all the way.
All right, so the first one. So based on my experience, that's going to be that wild line. But again,
What's up, KB?
we'll see it when it
Welcome.
comes out.
Thanks for showing up tonight. We appreciate it. Got a little bit of Canada in the mix tonight.
Okay.
Representing. 1%er representing. Woo! So this is a shredder clutch. We just hey, hoser. That's funny. We just went through a few representations of what shredder does, and now we're trying to do a pastel lesser shredder with a wild caught line of yellow belly. That is a bit of a project here. So we'll see what we got going on. Yeah.
So that is a shredder.
There's no pastel there? That like looks
Nope, there's no pastel.
Huh.
So that's just shredder. You can see like with the granite.
Yeah, all the speckling spots and stuff going on there. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy for a single gene.
That's nice.
Yeah. And again, if you cut the tops, you can see how they just like easily just close right up. So if you're putting these back in your incubator after you've cut eggs, more than likely they're going to feel pretty secure in there, and they'll come out as they need to. And
Don't have the lights on.
yeah, definitely have have the incubator in a section of your house where there's not a lot of lights is definitely beneficial for sure. I think you do this better than Dan does.
You know what? I'm a pro.
You've got to cut all the eggs.
That's what we're looking for.
What is that, Daniel?
So talk to me, Goose.
So that, they will darken up. I have to see out of the egg, but that looks like the butter shredder.
Give us a little history on the shredder. What do you know about the shredder, Gene? That was a question that was asked.
I really don't know much. I purchased the original butter shredder pastel that was posted on quote unquote World of Ball Pythons. I acquired that male.
The original, like world's first?
That's supposedly the world's first. And that's the one I showed a moment ago. And I've been playing around with the gene for a couple of years now, and honestly, because it's one of those things that you don't know what it's going to do, I'm not throwing it to everything, so I don't want to have racks of stuff to hold back.
Sure.
This year, I did throw it to a couple of different snakes, so
we had a conversation earlier, and you kind of feel that it may be similar, if not the same, as a couple other things floating around.
there's Nanny out there, it's similar, there's Grim, there's, trying to think of the other one. There's several of them, and it's similar. If it's not the same, it's similar.
Okay.
Bobby Vu has the Voodoo,
Yep.
and I've talked to him a couple times. I've compared animals, and I will say, like, there is a slight difference. It might just be the expression. It might be something where it's Coral Glow and Banana. It came from
Sugar and
people,
Calico, yeah.
things like that. People argue butter and lesser. It might be something like that, or it might be entirely different. From what I've seen, butter, lesser, to shredder, to voodoo, or voo, whatever you want to call it, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Anything in the Bell complex, this works really well in the Bell complex. From what I've seen, Mojave works really well. Mojave Enchi works really well. I have not put it to clown or stuff like that yet. I have a pairing that is due to lay that should have it in it.
Yeah.
In there. At least they'll be hets. So it's like everything else. It's either going to turn into something that Justin's going to post and it's going to be the next
or it's
thing,
not. Yeah.
or it's going to, turn away. Right now, the biggest thing is lace. And, lace was something I looked at for years, and I went a different direction. And now Justin's posting it. It's like, why was not
Well,
that
I
correction?
should have just grabbed it.
Why was I not on that?
Yeah.
Same thing with this. It's one of those things is where is it going to go?
Yep.
What genes does it compare to? Or complement?
Yeah. Yeah. Finding the right ones for sure. Well, you got 4 more eggs here, bro. I say we.
Move on.
Yeah, we cut
Mulan?
some. We cut something. Mulan.
This one is full.
All right, Matt likes the full eggs.
It's
so
an eruption egg.
I've seen a couple videos of Jim and Matt, and it's something about the squirters. So
I'm not saying anything.
I
got.
All right, what's this?
That's interesting. That looks good.
That is a shredder.
It does look good. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, that's a head right there. Yeah. And you see all that granity like stuff going on the sides. Yeah. Very cool.
So we
That's
got
nice.
one so far for what I'm looking for,
That's nice.
but we'll have a couple shredders.
Sorry, Dan.
That's fine.
The messy eggs.
Hey now.
It's only going to get more messy.
I mean, we might as well just go through my incubator. They're all going to be within the next week.
Well,
Can't do
7 days makes a difference.
That makes me nervous.
What's that?
The blood.
Nah, you're good. It's leaking like crazy.
I know, they all are. Shut
it,
up. Ooh,
it was a child's video until Dan showed up.
for real. That's nice.
Yeah, what does
All right,
that do?
so that one has
Yep.
lesser in it, and
Yeah, so that lesser is giving
now I'm
you
gonna have
that.
to look at the other one.
Yeah, but that lesser is giving you like an xanthic kind of look. This animal more than likely will color up over the next week or so, and by the time it has its first shed, won't even
That
look
should
like
be
this.
lesser shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can see that even in the alien heads that is lesser. Good blushing there.
Or better.
Yeah, really. Whatever. Really cool pattern. Yeah, that's a great animal. Yeah, that's nice. And it's not a normal lesser or butter, however
Alright,
you
we're
want to
gonna-
put it
We're
for
gonna
sure.
point it blesser.
It's a blesser.
All right, so this, the way it looks right now, is gonna be dark like this, and then again for people just joining, it will actually brighten up to this.
Yeah.
And that's a lesser shredder. That's what we just cut.
Right.
Cool.
And for a couple people, because I know there was somebody on the comments that was asking about like shredder, I will pull out a shredder on its own, just for a comparison. So you get 2 more. Possibly a third if you want to cut the
Who's cutting the nasty
dirty
egg?
egg.
Dan is. You have to cut the eggs.
I'll
You have to
cut-
cut them
I'll
all.
cut
You have
the
to know what's
nasty
in
egg.
there.
I'll cut the nasty egg.
You have to cut them all. It's
Just
the
like Pokemon. Gotta
it's-
catch them all.
yeah, that's right. It's the unwritten rule.
Hashtag Mikey.
Hashtag Mikey.
I see it. I see it.
What do we got?
Okay. That one is another less butter shredder.
Okay.
What's going on, Rick? Welcome.
I really can't tell you what this other gene does to influence it because this is the combos. I haven't been able to put it to something else except its own gene. So, and I didn't hit any supers.
So cutting some eggs on a shredder clutch. So Pastel lesser shredder to a wild line of Yellow-Belly. We've hit 3 shredder combos, or well, 2 combos and 1 by itself. Anyway, and then 1 more egg to go, and then 1 really bad egg to go.
We'll show the
Yeah, we'll go back through these real quick because there's some
female and the
some
male
interesting
as
stuff
well.
like that right here. It looks a little xanthic going on, but definitely not. That's like a lesser shredder, probable pastel combo going on there with maybe a little bit of yellow belly-ish.
All right, go for the egg that was
Ready?
next to the rotten egg.
Got a little rot next to it. On its side
It's
there.
called mold gold. Come on.
Listen,
What
this-
is Rick drinking tonight?
Oh, that's the question of
Rick.
all time. You got to have something dark and stouty.
No, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's actually my favorites, to be honest.
What do you think of my cutting, Jim?
I like your cutting. I think you do very, very well.
That's
What is that?
It's different than the others.
That one may be a normal.
It's all right.
That's like a double recessive normal. It's a
So-
really, really nice normal.
That is nice.
We have the mess, but the comparison for mom and the normal.
What's that?
So this is mom.
Which is?
I don't know.
Okay, your best guess then.
Wild. Well, hatched from a wild. So
A coffee, coconut, maple, cinnamon, something.
Coffee, coconut, maple, cinnamon stout.
Wow, bro.
That is
I'm
interesting.
already jealous.
and you're sending it to us, right?
Yeah, it'd be my Tinley pickup, maybe. I still got beers, dude. Like, I put stuff aside for you for October, which we're not going to see for Tinley, but I put them aside. I still have them. They're going to be, cooking out. And by the time I go there, I'm going to need like a trailer to bring stuff to you. Although it's getting a little light on the stouts over this direction anyway, so I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to stack up.
So, yep, this is mom. She came from a wild female. Still playing with the gene, but the marks on the side is comparable to that. This one, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. There's no yellow belly.
No, I don't see it.
Right. So it just seems like kind of a pattern influencer. Not normal. But again, people can disagree. It could be like the Harlequin, as everyone knows.
Right.
And again, for her, mom would be the one we took out before that wanted to.
Yeah, I agree, Rick. Definitely no yellow belly in there.
So that's mom.
And this is...
This is the wild one. This is an import.
Yep.
If I'm correct, because I actually acquired this from a friend, this came from one of Outback's import lots.
Let's see that belly. And that's a female. You have a ton of like did you keep all those crazy males that you had before?
I
that
did.
were-
I don't have the male that came from her that sired those clutches, which is the one I'm still trying to reproduce. You're kind of in shed. They do vary when it comes to alien heads and striping, everything like that. So this one, has a little different melting and so forth. And then I go to the next one, and it definitely looks more granite-y. And then the next one,
You want to see that belly?
a little pink.
Yeah, about
I
2
will.
inches shed there.
I will take out the ones that are yellow belly.
Yeah.
And I have paired this to a yellow belly. I have produced ivories.
With that animal?
Not this specific one, but
Yeah.
with dad and a
Sure.
yellow belly.
Yep.
Actually, this one.
He's got a few.
Yeah, I. This is the problem with dinkers is you do get a rack full. So this one. Look at the belly.
Yeah, that's clearly like a yellow belly. Yeah, I mean, you could literally go nuts with imports. trying to prove stuff out, and then it end up being, a fire or just a yellow belly or, something that's already compatible with something else and ends up being the same thing.
Oh, good. She just shut.
You can literally go crazy with, a run on dinkers and then find out that it's really not a brand new dinker. It's
So
something
that
that
one
already
doesn't have
exists.
the yellow belly in it.
Flip that a little bit longer
If she'll let me.
if she'll let you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
But this one's more granite-y.
Yeah.
And this is the same clutch too. So then I go down to. So I got several like this where pattern's very clean.
Yeah, that's yellow belly. You can see the flames. Yeah. That belly, the flames coming up the side. So it's yellow belly or yellow belly-esque.
Again, it might just be another yellow belly line. Might be that dark yellow belly. I have ones that look almost fire.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem with dinkers, like you said.
Yeah, you hold back a lot of stuff, and then you end up proving out that it's the same thing as stuff that you've already had. Yeah, yellow belly for sure, Rick said. Yeah, same with that one. There's just no doubt.
But those ones have the clear bellies, and I believe the one you got for me, and I have one or two that have the checkered bellies, or the, no, this one's clear too. They have a spotting in the belly.
Yeah, it's really bright. That looks good.
And this
Possible
one has
gravel
regular-
or asphalt. Yeah, absolutely, Rick.
Not asphalt or gravel.
Yeah, he did. He did
Unfortunately-
manage to run this wild line to a known yellow belly, and it produced ivories. But I'll say from producing ivories in the past, they look better than your typical ivory for sure. And I just don't know that maybe because it's something closer to wild than something that maybe have been diluted down a bit. More than likely. So if it's a wild line of yellow belly and it was brought in recently or relatively recent, then say in the past 7 years as opposed to bringing in a yellow belly back in the 70s or 80s. It's a little bit closer to wild caught genetics, and maybe that has some kind of influence.
Right.
So the ivories that he produced, they were both males. They were sold. You kept.
This is a female.
Oh,
and
you
this
kept.
This is a ivory pastel male.
So you kept them both.
I kept 2.
I thought you only produced 2.
No, I produced 4.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Are we not cutting the gross egg?
Yeah, she is. She's got her gloves
Yeah,
on. Look
I'm
at,
ready.
she's
Alright,
ready to
We'll
go.
cut the gross egg. Hang on.
So this is a
So this one's the pastel ivory.
pastel ivory that was produced from the wild line
That was produced from a yellow belly pastel from Justin.
to the wild line.
Yep.
And then this here is what?
So that one was just a yellow belly. Sorry, it's an ivory, but it was to a yellow belly, and that was from the wild line.
So looks pretty standard for yellow belly. When
Now-
these guys came out of the egg and had first shed, at that point I had produced probably like 5 or 6 different ivories, and they didn't look anything like the ivories that I had produced. So they looked really good, and that could have just
There we
initially
go.
been the
That's the one I was looking for.
the freshness of the gene.
So same thing, same genes.
Yeah, that's like off the chain busy. There's no
If
doubt.
you look at the top, similar to fire, not fire, but
Yep.
so yeah, a lot of holdbacks.
Let me see that head before you put that away. Just
Buy me dinner first.
that's that's crazy. A little dot.
Hey.
All right,
Um,
and oh, you got one more?
No, I was gonna say, so with the ivories, yep, they looked a little different when they were born. With the yellow bellies, when they're born from this, they come out red. They have red blushing, almost like a brick red color. There's one person that I sold one of them to, and he looked at it and he's like, I don't care what it is, I want it. Like, it's just, it stands out different. So I ended up putting it to a yellow belly, and out of that clutch, with the ivories, obviously the ivory has both sides of the gene, but the other babies that were yellow belly or this own line, night and day.
Yeah.
So,
So the last
it's something.
Yeah, and it is something, and it produces yellow bellies, but it could be like you said, the freshness of the gene to wild, so
Yep, new
it's not as
bloodline.
not as diluted or whatever. And we're gonna cut that right
Yuck.
there.
Smell-o-vision.
If there was, oh, you got gloves on. That's so cute.
No thanks, I don't want to touch.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Let's
It's
see.
got blood. There's a little red there.
There's a little red there. What do we got?
You gonna be happy that you cut it?
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know. How does it smell?
Oh, it doesn't- okay. It smells a little bad.
It's a little musty. Oh,
Oh, that's bad.
that's kind of nasty.
That smells
over
bad.
here.
Oh, that's real nasty.
Oh, that's so bad. Yowza.
So what's in there?
I don't know. I don't have gloves on. I'm not pulling it apart. I can't tell.
I don't know that I want to pull it apart.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
It looks like egg yolk and started to form a snake and then just stopped.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
good with
much.
that. I'm not getting close enough to smell it.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna back up right over here.
Nice try.
Yep, I'm good.
Whew.
Smell good?
No, thank you. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
You sure? Yeah.
Ugh.
Did you like that?
I didn't smell it.
You can't smell it anyway.
Nope.
No, he cannot.
I have a head injury.
Palm poo. What is that? Come on, Hecko. Palm poo. Pomeranian poops? No. All right, y'all. I think that about wraps it up for us. You've seen a bunch of snakes, adults, hatchlings, a lot of new stuff going on over here, and definitely some cuttings going on. The shredder gene is pretty cool. Pompeii, there it is. That would have been nice if it was the Pompeii, especially if it was Justin's Pompeii.
Yeah.
You don't know if I have it.
Oh, hush.
I know you don't have it. But anyway, some really cool shredder stuff going on here. And a lot of work to be done with that. It's not really around. Could be voodoo, could be nanny, could be something else. Could all be the same.
Danny.
Huh?
Danny.
Danny, Nanny. He was trying to be funny.
The Danny gene.
Heyo.
Yeah, hey. So yeah, cool stuff going on here. Definitely check these guys out on Instagram. Yeah, thanks KB, thanks for showing up. Thanks Rick, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Follow these guys on Instagram, Monroe.Morphs, and a lot of cool stuff coming. And before you guys go, before you jump off of here, JT Tomlinson had a major tragedy. There is a link. Yep, it's the Repti Chip Man for sure. There is a link on Facebook. Find the charity auction for JT Tomlinson. Get on there, donate money. There's a link. You can send him cash. Please do that.
It's JT at ontheballpythons.com is his PayPal.
Yep, absolutely. And again, he lost 50% of his collection due to smoke inhalation. They had a kitchen fire and wiped out 200 out of the 400 animals of his breeding stock that he had, valued somewhere in the neighborhood of $350,000. And this man needs a lot of help recuperating to get back on the game. So please, please, please go check out that page. Do what you can do. $25, $10, $100, $1,000. donate a snake, an animal, whatever you can do, please go check that auction page out. And again, thanks everybody for showing up this week. And this is the first time I'll be on here tonight. Thank you very much. And from the Ectothermic Dungeon in Monroe Morphs, peace, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.